Humans are wired to feel sharp jolts of alarm, unease, sorrow, and scrutiny. And for good cause. These sensations act as a compass, steering us away from harm by stirring discomfort when danger looms. Without this inner radar, survival would slip through our fingers. For millennia, threats were close at hand. A storm tearing through the village, a wolf prowling near the fire, or rival clans storming the horizon. But in a mere blink of history's eye, barely a century, technology has flung open a window to every corner of the globe, beaming the perils of billions into our lives around the clock, vivid and unfiltered on glowing screens. Suddenly, the weight of countless strangers' crises crashes into our own. This flood of far-off dread may be the strangest burden modern life heaps upon us, more jarring than synthetic diets, endless stillness, artificial dawn-to-dusk glare, or climates that never shift. The mind and body weren't built to swim in a ceaseless current of distress, yet escape feels impossible. Ads loom overhead, headlines scream, and feeds buzz incessantly. Worse still, turning away is a battle against instinct. Biology locks our gaze on peril, a relic of ancient necessity. This digital deluge has birthed a storm of virtual panic, one we're oddly tethered to. As a media insider once quipped, "If it's grim, it wins." Dark tales hook us tight. Add to this the personal tempests everyone navigates, grief, setbacks, silent wounds, and a culture that shies from mending the psyche, and the strain becomes crushing. Nearly half of women in the U.S. will face a shadow of despair at some point. A third of the nation wrestles with persistent worry over a lifetime. 4 in 5 young adults feel danger nipping at their heels daily. A 2023 report found 60% of teenage girls carried a steady ache of gloom in 2022, up from 40% a decade prior. 3/4 of people cite health-related tension as a monthly thorn, dragging their well-being down. Surveys peg a sharp rise in melancholy among youth around 2012, the year a photo-sharing app swept the world. These numbers might blur into the background, but pause to feel their heft. In an era of longer lives and fuller cupboards, millions in a land of plenty, including its youngest, drown in fear, sorrow, and strain. Pain has always shadowed humanity, but now it's magnified, a kaleidoscope of suffering spinning on devices cradled at night or propped at meals. To cope, people chase fleeting sparks of relief. Sweet treats, spirits, fizzy drinks, starchy comforts. Puffs of vapor, reels of fantasy, swipes for connection, bets for thrills, or the hum of newness. A thinker once mused, "We've forged a world where countless souls can't stand the quiet of their own days, numbing themselves to endure." This mental maelstrom, and the crutches it spawns, dims the body's inner flame, trapping us in a loop that saps the richness of being alive. A cell steeped in constant dread is a cell shackled from soaring. When the body senses an unending siege, it redirects its vigor to guard posts and warning bells, sidelining the steady hum that fuels thriving. No matter how pure the fuel, how frequent the strides, how bright the sun, or how deep the rest, if the mind brews a broth of tension, stirred by hormones, signal flares, and restless nerves, these efforts falter. The first task is clear. Map the triggers that spark this unrest and seek to mend or mute them. Tools abound, drawing lines in the sand, turning inward, stilling the breath, leaning on guides, wandering green paths, or sipping nature's elixirs, with more to explore ahead. This isn't about hiding from the world. It's about guarding the body's rhythm to keep it from crumbling. A steadier self can then rise, radiating strength to lift others. Threats vary like fingerprints. One might feel the grind of a relentless job, another the echo of a turbulent youth, a third the chill of an unsteady home. Distant horrors. A crime. Across continents, a plague sweep, clashes oceans away, or rights under siege, can jolt just as fiercely. Even whispers of inadequacy, too plain, too frail, too dim, can gnaw. Naming these shadows is the first step to shielding the body's core, fostering a sanctuary within. The anxiety engine that binds and weakens in healing halls, the creed often rings. Spare no cost, pills, cuts, or tolls, to fend off the end, even if it ekes out mere gasps in twilight. The promise isn't thrive in fullness, but linger a little longer. Yearly checkups, scans aplenty. Swallow this, slice that, or risk the abyss. Death's specter is wielded like a whip, driving compliance. More doses, more probes, more experts. Hesitate, seek gentler ways, and the unspoken threat looms. Time might run dry. In lands where mortality is a hushed taboo, unlike cultures that embrace its dance, this dread cuts deep. Voices across ages, from poets of the desert to sages of the East, urge a gaze upon the inevitable, a trust in its grace. Yet the healing machine churns on, casting the end as a foe to vanquish. For one soul, this dread once loomed large, a childhood giant that shadowed years, fueling sleepless nights and a quest to outrun fate. It took a journey with a guiding light in spring 2021 to shift the lens. A retreat to Canyonlands paired a mother and child in a crucible of renewal. Days without food, icy dips, dawn treks, and starlit chants. Unbeknownst then, a silent scourge, liver's ruin, lurked within her. Fasting sharpened senses as they stood atop a plateau, drums pulsing under a silver sky. Gazing at jagged peaks, a thought took root. These stones and this flesh share a primal thread, atoms spinning. Since time's dawn weave both mountain and marrow, briefly lit by a cellular spark. Together they pondered the mirage of me and gone, for the body sheds rivers of itself daily, dust swirling into new forms. Beneath a lens, life teems with endings and births, a ceaseless churn. The coal that drives machines once roamed as beasts. The cycle spins on. What if shed fragments feed a berry's blush, harden into a gem, or drift to sculpt unseen ridges? What if every touch, kind or cruel, ripples through others, reshaping their very essence? That moonlit embrace, pulsing with warmth, wove new strands in the tapestry of being. Then came a call, January 2022, shattering the calm, tears on a screen, news of a beast within, vast and untamed. 15 days remained. Letters poured in, a chorus of lives touched, read from a cliffside perch. Fear ebbed as she clasped a hand, whispering of energy's eternal flow, a truth felt in her final breath. Lowered into coastal earth, her form fed roots anew, a cycle unbroken. Worry over fleeting years dissolved. The end was not a thief, but a partner. In that release, a deeper fire kindled. Freedom from dread's grip, a cellular unshackling to burn bright. How the psyche shapes the flame. Why does taming this tempest matter? The mind stokes the body's hearth. A brain adrift weakens under siege, while siege itself douses the hearth, dimming spirit and grit. Most ailments, 7 in 10, trace to this clash, a bridge where thought bends flesh. Cells tune to every whisper, and a drone of alarm snuffs their glow. Sudden jolts or lingering weights ignite dark hallmarks. Fires within. Hours of pressure spark immune flares, fanning brain haze and body-wide embers, paving paths to collapse. Rust unseen. Exam-weary students bleed antioxidants dry, their cells scarred by strain's silent blade. Fading forge. In labs, stress warps the body's powerhouses, slowing their churn. Sugar surge. Alarm spikes the tide, freeing. Fat to clog the stream, a seed for sweeter ruin. Shadowed signs. Tension carves wider wastes, murkier blood, a heavier pulse. Wounds from youth, harsh words, lost bonds, chaos, etch deep, tilting the scales toward heft and haze decades on. Often, these scars hide, in plain sight, unnamed yet potent, until unraveled over time. Rewiring for radiant safety is a myth, all will fade, but its feel can bloom within through steady craft. No single trail fits all. First, see the toll of unrelenting shadows. Tend the frame with vital rhythms, pure sustenance, restful tides, brisk motion, and hone the spirit with arts that soothe and mend. Sweat for hours weekly, feast on earth's bounty, slumber soundly. These aren't mere fixes but lifelines to steady the mind's helm. Small steps spark momentum, a ripple into renewal. Trapped in a cage of unseen foes, screens, fumes, clamor, the brain, a greedy flame, falters fast. Feed it well, and light seeps back. The path. Ahead healing old gashes, embracing boundless worth, and resting easy with fate, demand effort. 15 lanterns, backed by study, light the way. Seek a guide. Enlist a mind's ally, therapist or mentor, to unlock freedom. Track the pulse. Wearables reveal stress's beat, guiding calm's return. Breathe deep. Steady. Inhales quell the storm within moments. Still the mind. Quiet focus shifts blood and spirit alike. Flow in motion. Yoga or Tai Chi mend both frame and soul. Roam wild. Nature's embrace douses tension's heat. Read wide. Tomes of wisdom reframe life's sprawl. Inhale peace. Scents like lavender ease the tide. Scribe truth. Pen lifts burdens, stirs creation. 10. Chase wonder. Gratitude and awe steady the helm. Lift yourself. Kind words to self drown out old echoes. How? Ease the rush. Savor the void. Decline the lukewarm. Fur. Weave bonds. Kinship fuels the flame. Counters. Solitude's chill. What? Unplug boldly. Shed screens to reclaim the now. 15. Explore depths. Guided earthborn visions pierce fear's veil. Faith in the unfolding. Weeks after a mother's earthward return, a city stoop bore witness to memory, her youth's laughter, her spark igniting another's. A worn book, The Lone Thread, by Clara Vane, fluttered nearby, its page singing, "Strife is but ego's tale. All falls and rises weave one cloth. Savor the instant, dire or divine. It's all there is." Even in death's clasp, she shone, grateful, open. Control slips, threats loom, yet peace can root deep. Wellness isn't more cures for scattered ills. It's knowing all threads, earth. Breath kin, tie us tight. Mastery lies not in fleeing time, but in syncing with its pulse, tools in hand to fan the ember within.